On any given day, you might be thinking about getting yourself a cool new sweatshirt or hiring somebody to mow your yard. Then you hop on Facebook and all of a sudden you see an ad for it and you're like, how's this even possible? Are they reading my mind? Am I going crazy? Or is it Big Brother watching over me? Well, the answer to that is actually quite simple. And hopefully at the end of this video, you understand how that advertisement came about and how it appeared on your screen. I am Magee, and I work in social media marketing. And every day, I promote my company's products and services to you in a fashionable way. First, what's an advertisement? An advertisement is just a public notice. It can come about either through a paper form, a digital form, or word of mouth. This is just a solicitation trying to get something from you or trying to sell something to you. You might see most of these advertisements online based through an algorithm. An algorithm is just a guideline for a set of tasks. Most of these can be pretty simple, as blank plus 1 equals blank, or it could be as complicated as the mathematical equations currently being used to solve and eradicate cancer. Most of these algorithms are ran by an AI, which is artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is developed and coded by a group of people over a period of time. And after a while, this AI starts to develop and change on its own. Most of you might think that the AIs are going to turn into Terminators and rule the world and kill us all, but I don't think that's going to happen. Some of the most memorable AIs that I think of are the Google DeepMind AI, which scours the web to help you find what you're looking for. It looks through the websites online and cross-references with the keywords that you type in the search bar and brings up the best results. The next that I'm thinking of is Facebook. Facebook AI is called Bear. This helps you find your friends in the posts that you make, tells you who they are before you even tag them, or tells you about what artist sang that song or painted that picture. My company uses the Bear AI program to help promote our advertisements online through Facebook and Instagram. The last that I think of is the IBM AI, which is called Watson. You might have seen Watson on Jeopardy, and that one actually might take over the world, but I won't get into that. The mostly I'm going to focus on is the Facebook AI Bear and the Google AI DeepMind. Most of these AIs help promote products in a way by collecting data throughout the internet. Some of these data that they collect is called geofencing. Geofencing tracks your global position through your smartphone or any other device that has a global positioning system in it. It tracks you down to a 50 square yard area and can pinpoint what you're doing as shopping or hanging out or not moving or running, and then relays that data to databases where my company can purchase. There are ways to disable these in your phone, and there are actually ways to check them out. But that'll be in another part if you would like to know. Some of these geofencings track who you're actually with too, and track how long you're with them and possibly where you're even going to predict you're going to go. Next that we focus on is called personal traits. Personal traits are something that's hard to change about you and almost impossible. Something like your sex, your age, or your past events in your life, such as where you lived, where you went to school, what you've done. We can use your personal traits and your geofencing and promote a product like Life Alert. Say that you're over 65, you visited a hospital a couple times, and you live in Tampa, Florida. Life Alert might target you in an ad because you have all the qualifications that meet what their product represents. Now that ad's targeted to you because of your personal traits and your geolocation. The last one that we look at is your personal interest. Your personal interests are actually my favorite ones to talk about because it's the easiest one to manipulate, and I manipulate it on my own personal accounts. Personal traits are what you look up online, what's your interest, what you like to do in your free time, and what you post about. This is a really easy one to manipulate personally by just typing in words in the search bar. Like, let's say I'm looking for a new snowboard. I type in snowboard, twin, bamboo. Now I'm using the AI program against itself, and it brings up all the research that I want without me actually doing it. Then once I get a good idea, I can actually go in and research the topic myself. Next, the final is the personal traits that is kind of harder to change. These personal traits are like where you go and what your interests are. These are harder to manipulate when you include the other two factors, because then you have to go make other accounts, try to hide locations, and try to figure out a way around all these geofences that you can't see. The last decision-making process in your program, which you might be wondering, how is it possible that it appears? Well, some of it might be actually psychological. Some of the subconscious random decisions that you make aren't as random as you think. You're subconsciously trained to do certain things by how you learn and how your past life experiences have taught you. What your random decision for choosing a multiple choice answer might be C, because in the past you've noticed that C has been the most correct answer. So then you start to see all these programs and advertisements online. You're like, oh, I'm just going to start randomly clicking on it to change it. Well, you're not really randomly clicking on them. The algorithms and AIs are so good that they can actually see those traits and find out what your traits are. Sometimes you might even see where you drive past somewhere and you're sitting at a stoplight and you see a product hanging in the window. For the AI, it looks at where you've been and looks how long you were there. So now you're sitting at this red light for a couple minutes because the lights take forever to change, and it sees you're close to the store. Now that you've seen that product, it is fresh in your mind. And then the AI might say, hey, maybe they're looking at this while you're at the light. So then they bring it up and all of a sudden it pops up and you're like, I just saw that, how did it know? It's using your three traits to figure out the complicated equations to bring that product up to your attention. Once you figure out how these programs work and how you can manipulate them, like I have, it's a lot more fun to find ads online. You can actually figure out what you want to see instead of getting blasted with random apps. Ads are going to be hard to get away from unless you use an ad blocker. But even in real life, outside the web, you're still going to see ads like billboards and signs in windows. So that you can't really change that. That's why I like to manipulate the online ones, so at least I'm seeing what I want to see. Now that you know how the advertisements work and how to manipulate it, have fun and stay safe. Thank you.